Good evening, YouTube. My name is Carl Cohen, Darth Cohen 2020 SWGOH here on YouTube. And tonight, we have another book. Yes, you read the title, you've seen the thumbnail. And tonight, we're going to look at what happens when a teenager, Arnie Cunningham, decides to get a car that he is not aware has killed multiple people. Yes, this is Christine, my next book that I'm going to review. And yes, Christine, it's a book about, it's a psychological horror novel. Yes, I mean, Arnie Cunningham is a teenager who is bullied a lot. He has a best friend, Dennis, who is a popular kid. We all had our popular friends in school, I'm sure. But one day, Dennis is taking Arnie home, and he says, stop, go back so I can see her. He sees this rusty piece of junk car, a 1958 Plymouth Fury. And it's like love at first sight for Arnie. He finally finds something that he says is just as ugly as he is. And Dennis even says, "You're not ugly, Arnie. Maybe a faggot, but not ugly." And of course, Arnie says, "F you," to his friend. So basically, they were joking around. Christine has a dark history as a car. Not only has the car killed people in the past, but it also harbors a dark secret. Now, do I recommend that you read this? Of course. I loved this book. It is a wonderful read. For those of you that are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe. I am a Stephen King fan. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing book reviews on King's novels if I wasn't. So basically, Christine takes place back in the 70s, you know. Stephen King wrote this book, you know. And as the book progresses, you notice Arnie starting to go through this change. He becomes more self-confident. He asks out the popular girl, Lee, that goes to their school, and Lee doesn't like Christine. Now, you may think as a reader, it's basically jealousy, but I think of it more along the lines of basically she knows something's wrong with the car, and she wants Arnie to give it up before anything happens. Well, talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. When I was a teenager and I read this for the first time, at my high school in Edgewood, and anybody who knows me knows what school I went to, so there you go. Again, I'm showing the book. Trying to get a good thumbnail for the book, so yeah. Maybe this will be a thumbnail. Maybe it'll be a different one. I don't know. You'll just have to wait and see when the video goes up on YouTube. I might put it on Facebook too. I don't know. So basically, the further you get into this book clocks in. Hold on. The book clocks in at about, this is paperback, 643 pages for a paperback. Not bad. Unlike my last book, Cujo, this book doesn't stall at all. This book gets right into it. This book throws you right into it. You're introduced to the characters. You're introduced to Christine. You're introduced to all these things. As the book goes on, though, it's almost as if Christine changes Arnie. He goes from being a somewhat dorky individual to being somewhat of an asshole and possessed person. You see, Arnie's parents mistreat him because they want to control all aspects of his life. You see, Arnie Cunningham, he's of age. It's like a coming of age story. It's like love at first sight gone wrong, if you want to look at it that way. Do I recommend you read Christine? Absolutely. Unlike Cujo, this book doesn't stall. This book just gets right to the point. Look at how evil that car looks on the cover of the book. Just look at it. Is this a car you would like your kid to have? Me personally, if I saw a car like this, no way in hell would I allow my kid to have it. Now, this book, like all other Stephen King books, is not recommended for children. But I know there are some of you out there that would probably do what my mom did with me when I was a kid. That is say, hey son, hey daughter, hey kiddo, come sit down, I'm going to read you a bedtime story. And you will pull out a book like this, and you will proceed to read it. Probably not a good idea, because my review of Christine, this book, I would give this book a 8 out of 10 on my book rating scale. 8 out of 10 for this, 6 out of 10 for Cujo, because Cujo does drag, this book does not. So, for those of you that are not familiar with Stephen King, he is a master of horror. He is also the master of making you feel uneasy, and this book is no exception to that rule. While there are no monsters in this book per se, there's no monsters in this book per se. You could say that Christine herself is the monster in this book. Cars, I'll go into more details. This book is an awesome read. Go read it. Now I'm going to start doing spoilers. So for those of you that do not want to be spoiled, I would recommend leaving this video now. If you want to stay around, that's fine. The car itself in this book has the ability to self-repair itself. Now, you would think, oh, that's not usual at all. Well, it may not be usual to you, but in a Stephen King novel, it's brilliant. Let me tell you something. It is bloody brilliant. Because quite frankly, nobody actually thinks that the car's the monster. People think that Arnie being possessed makes him the monster in the book. But it's Christine that changes Arnie into the world. He forgets about his friends. He forgets about his parents. He even forgets about Lee. And Lee's trying to help him, and so is Dennis. But you know what? Throughout the book, Christine kills multiple people. Now, some people will ask, can a car drive itself? Well, something tells me in this book that is the case. Because Arnie's not always in Christine in this book. Or is he? You'll have to read it for yourself. This book is a must-read. If you want to start with this book before you get into more King's more screwed up novels, feel free. Because my next novel, I'll give you a hint as to the next novel. You think killer cars are bad? Imagine what would happen if you went to a hotel and it harbored an even darker secret in Boulder, Colorado. Thank you for watching.